Well, hi Logan. I'm glad you're here. Hi Stacy. Hey Chris. I'm good. I'm really good. How about you? It's a beautiful day here in Indiana. Hi Daniel. Hi Daniel. Come on in. Thanks for liking the live, Logan. Hi Dwana. It's a pretty name. Good. It's important to have peace and be able to enjoy it, right? Am I supposed to be a preacher? You know what's really funny? Why did I think somebody with an account like the Patriot would be a problem? Why did I think that? I never thought that. I just, I don't know. It was a wild guess, wasn't it? Shauna, hi. It's good to see you. I'm not supposed to be, to answer your question, the Patriot. I am a reverend. Those are my credentials, whether you like it or not. It's the truth. So, there you have it. I need one more stand here. Probably not a bad idea, Stacy. Like you could see where that was going, couldn't you? It's water off a duck. I mean, it's just like you got to start your Monday like that. I've been in this live, what, 3 minutes, and you already got to do it. Kendra says, love your content. Nice to have a calm presence among a lot of dysregulating content. Yeah, there's a lot of dysregulating content out there. I mean, some of it too is important to talk to. Oh my God. Can you all see who that, what? Hmm. Thanks for sharing the live. That's important. Hi, Craig. Hi, Mimi. Thanks for everybody coming in. We've had some really good conversations the last couple of days, or last couple of lives last week. And if we want to continue those conversations, I love that we were really creating a space for spiritual care and calm. So maybe that's what we continue to do here. Cami, I'm honoring Pride Month. I'm honoring. I'll be making some content for it to be able to hold the space for the LGBTQIA plus community for sure. Kendra, what are your thoughts on leaving a toxic Christian environment versus staying to fix it? What is that? What is that last part? Blue dots. I don't know what that is. Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Didn't know that. And I'm already getting a notification that some of the contents, I love that TikTok does that for you in some cases. And my mods are just on it. I love it. Let's go back to Kendra's questions. And Feather Gecko, are the conversations on TikTok good? It just depends on where you land. You know, if this isn't, hi Dob Views, good to see you here. I know that you were very active in last week's lives. I'm glad to see you here again. Kendra, what are your thoughts on leaving a toxic Christian environment versus staying to fix it? And I don't know what you mean by that last part. If that's something that I'm just not picking up, sorry. But, you know, there's many people who say, oh, I see. Kendra says I'm a leftist in a very red state, so it's hard to tell if staying is productive versus going somewhere else to be around people who can help. Well, it depends on, you know, can you do it safely? A lot of people, especially from marginalized groups, you do need to be careful. I do think that there's going to be an uptick in the people who think that their bravado and their facade about their self-righteousness is going to lead to some really, really stupid things happening and dangerous things happening. And I don't want to see anybody be harmed. So we need to do it safely. I'm in Indiana, so we're in a deeply red state as well. Well, I call Indiana the hold my beer state. Oh, somewhere in freedom, bless your heart. You got lost on your way to Bible study. They'll take care of you in just a minute. So what I would do is I would try to think about what exactly it is you want to do as far as your advocacy. If you're politically involved and you have groups that you can be involved in and you're well connected and you're informed, then I would think that that's something that you can do. Shauna, somebody grab that question so that thank you for just blocking him. Oh my gosh, I cannot take another day of progressive Christian will. Hi, Chaplain Bill X. Shauna, we'll come back to your question. So I think that there's a lot of people saying the same thing about what you're talking about. Like, do you stay in a red state and do you do the work? I think, first of all, if you can do it safely, some people don't have the option. Financially, they can't leave the state that they're in, number one. Number two, if you can be part of an advocacy group that's very active, then, and that's something that you can do, then you should absolutely do so. Because some of that work can help. I know for a fact, I'm in contact with a lot of groups that are actually creating systems to help the historically oppressed or the people who are at risk in red states, either to get them the resources that they need, to mobilize them if they need to get out of the state. So there's going to be a lot more information coming out probably on social media, and you'll see it inside your state as these groups become more active. So pay attention to that. So for me right now, I'm staying in Indiana. Don't have any plans anytime soon to leave. Okay. Thank you, Stacy. Got it. So, just what basically it is, if you can do so safely, stay. If you can advocate and you're not at risk, advocate. If you can stay involved with groups that are already involved, whether it's with politics or it's some kind of sacred activism in some way where you can start to work together, reach out. You'll find information on Facebook. And like I said, I know that there's people putting together list of resources for each state that's going to become more of a cohesive movement. So just stay tuned for that. What state are you in, Kendra? Oh, hi, Rosie. Hi. Hi, dear one. How are you? Hey, Stephanie, you're here as well. Grumpy Old Lady text says, how do you ease existential crisis in this difficult social environment? How do you ease existential crisis in this difficult social environment? What exactly do you mean? What do you mean? Something, you're a remote worker, so I'm looking at traveling a lot next year to get a break. Yeah, I can understand that. Jess Piper, if you're not following Jess Piper, she's in Missouri. So seeing her being connected with her can really be, yeah, okay, good. You follow her already. She's amazing. So make sure that you, did you hear? Hi, sweetie.
I'm actually not in Omaha.
Hi.
I'm in the Bible Belt.
Where?
I'm in Oklahoma right now.
Seriously? Oh, you did the Pride event.
I did Oklahoma City Pride. And you're talking about, exactly what you said. If you can stay in it safe, do the activism. I'm very impressed with, because I lived in Oklahoma for a year and I did not fit in. I lived in Tulsa. Oklahoma City seems a lot more welcoming and has a very strong queer community. And groups like Rainbow Youth Project are actually starting to come in. I mean, they're actually doing the work here.
Great.
So, a lot of people would think, ooh, Oklahoma, but there's work to be done, and groups like Rainbow Youth Project are actually doing it. And by the way, we mentioned your name came up over and over and over again in conversation.
Really?
Yes, I went to gospel drag queen brunch yesterday, and it was wonderful.
Oh my gosh, I'm jealous.
I know.
Jealous.
Well, if you ever get into Oklahoma City, go to the Boom and the gospel drag queen. You have to have tickets.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of the best drag shows I've ever saw, but it's very, very wonderful.
Well, you know what? I'll put it on the list for next year, and we're going to have to make it. I was telling, Goddess Mia came into my live last week, and I told her I was going to, in a lovingly way, I said, I'm just going to stalk you. I'm heading to your state, and I'm just going to come find you. we need to have some kind of meeting. I think the connection would do good, and it would help other people as well.
Yeah, our butler, I lived in Tulsa for 1 year, and it's a different vibe than Oklahoma City. I guess in Tulsa, I felt very much like there was, let's just say they let you know you were on the outside. But Oklahoma City doesn't seem like that. It's a very cohesive community.
So you're there for how long?
I'm flying out today. Hopefully, it's raining like cats and dogs, so I hope my flight leaves.
Was it? Was it? It was a good weekend.
It was a really good weekend. Very busy, very exciting. It's hard flying here for me because there's no direct flights, so it's almost faster to drive here. And maybe next time I will drive, because this is like, I'm going to be in travel today probably for at least 6 hours.
Oh gosh. So you sound tired, but it's one of those weary
times. I am tired, but we had such a good time.
Aww.
I mean, the parade yesterday, I got to ride in a 1961 Thunderbird driven by two beautiful lesbians, and the Grand Marshal was Next Benedict. They carried their banner, and I know up at the front was very emotional. It was very hard. Lance was one of the people from Rainbow Youth Project carrying the banner, and he said, no, it was just very hard. So.
Well, so, okay, so you liked what I was saying to that person, because we're getting a lot of questions. And for those of you who don't know about the Rainbow Youth Project, they're here on TikTok.
Yes.
And they're starting to get more active in regional movements and providing resources. So that's really, really good. Yes. So the Rainbow Youth Project, I think that's their name here on TikTok. So be sure to go follow them. And
it's one of those groups who, you're like, if I want to donate, who do I donate to? They're one that's actually really safe, because they're doing actually the work. What they're organizing down here is a response force. So if a young child is in crisis and attempts to unalive themselves or needs therapy or something like that, they have a group of people that will go out and meet with them either in person or virtually, however they're comfortable, and things like that. So they're really boots on the ground.
Are you, in your lives, or anybody that you're talking to, because I'm getting an uptick of people who are really scared. They're really scared. Are you?
I think everyone's scared, but I mean, when haven't we been scared? I mean, it's kind of like, back in the 80s, you'd just get beaten up for no reason, and there were no hate crime statutes. I mean, it's kind of like, if you're going to fight for something that's right, you might be scared doing it, but you're still fighting for the right thing.
Still the right thing.
Yeah.
That's our legacy.
It is our legacy, and it's like sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We get a little, and then we go backwards. We go forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. Hopefully, it's disciple of Christ. I think they're afraid of the violence, and all of the there's over 500 anti-gay and trans bills that were introduced this last year.
Oh yeah, they just keep coming. I'm
And
getting
it's
I'm getting an uptick in troll. They like to come in and tell me,
that's
"You're
probably
a
because I'm here too.
woman. You're a woman.
They're whatever.
You can't be a reverend. You're a
Yeah,
woman." So
yeah.
what else do you have planned for Pride Month?
I'm thinking about going to Denver next for Pride. I gotta see if I can swing it. It's only in a couple weeks.
Oh,
So I'm not sure if I can swing. That's really close. And then I'm having an allergic reaction to doing my gardening, so I got to see the allergist tomorrow.
oh no.
So yeah, um, but I would like to go to Denver. Then Omaha Pride is in July, and we'll have to see what other prides I can get to. You know,
So disciples of Christ, I'm gonna assume that your questions are genuine. What we're
oh, they just
talking about here is we're talking about protecting the LGBTQIA plus community because it is Pride Month. And the reason we have Pride Month is because they have historically been targeted for abuse, and so this is a time for not only celebration but education, and also activation of people wanting to be what's the importance of being an educated and informed and activated ally and what that looks like, but also standing in the gap to protect the historically oppressed. So those of us who are allies need to stand in that gap, to stand between people who are the source of homophobia and transphobia. And so that people can just show up to be who they are, have the same kinds of rights and dignity that we all should deserve. We all deserve. So there you go.
well, and if you're asking what violence, there were over 23,000 reported hate crimes against the LGBTQIA plus community just in 2023 in the United States. Those are the ones that are reported, which means there's probably a whole lot more.
I want to hold space for a minute too, but even in the struggle, who says that they are newly out. So I just want to celebrate you and honor you. Happy Pride Month, and look around for people in your area that are already doing events and see if you can connect with them and see what's happening there. A lot of times they have Facebook groups or they have Facebook pages. So see what's happening there. If not, you can always, TikTok seems to be the best.
Well, and also look for things you're interested in. I mean, you may not realize there are gay bowling leagues, there are gay dart leagues, there are gay softball leagues, there are, gay coffee clutches, there are, gay karaoke nights. You have to put yourself out there, but if there's something you're interested in, people are always like, sure, come on and join.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
There's a big community out there, and they're nobody knows me in Oklahoma City except one person when I came down here, and I feel like I have 9,000 new friends.
Oh, so you were actually in the parade.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it well attended?
Very well. This was apparently their largest pride ever.
Hey Tim, you're on the wrong side of TikTok, sweetie. You missed
Like a
the Bible study. You went to the wrong place. Where
Honey.
Jesus is King Church. Turn left. You'll see the big fake "What We Love Everyone" sign. Go there, honey. Because what we really mean there is that you want people's tithes, but you're not going to gatekeep their salvation. So you just head back over there.
Well, and the amount of stories that I heard this weekend from adults that have gone through, conversion camps, who were children of Pentecostal pastors who were on the path to becoming a Pentecostal pastor or a Southern Baptist pastor. I mean, I feel like I had a boring life growing up just being Presbyterian. But it was just like, you got the deconstruction for them is really deep. It's really amazing.
Yeah, you're talking serious religious trauma. Hi, Becca, I see you. A serious religious trauma, and the crazy, and the hardest thing about that is because of those indoctrinations. we don't even know what trauma means, because you learn to suppress your emotions. You learn that you don't own anger or sadness or anything like that. You just have to live for joy of Jesus, and pretend everything in your life is right. They set you up. They set you up to be a victim. Thank
Yeah.
you for the shares. They set you up to be harmed and to be silent and obedient in that harm. And
Yep.
when you've awakened to it, then you realize, wow, I'm holding a lot of trauma.
They are, and there's several groups down here that are designed just for kids.
Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
met one young person named Aries who is the Rainbow Youth Project is helping, and he's so wonderful. I mean, and part of that is sitting and just listening to these kids. Save space for the. It doesn't matter if you're 13 years old. Listen to these kids. See what's in their heart, their fears, their anxieties. See how, as adults, we can shepherd them through and make it a little easier and show them, yes, there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
I can
You
tell
know.
you're just soaking it all in. You're changed, aren't you?
Oh,
From
I
your
love being down here. And it was interesting because this is deep in the Bible Belt.
yeah.
And I'm a green witch, and everyone's like, we love you. We don't care. It's like, you're just, we're all family. It doesn't matter how you believe. Because in yesterday, I mean, there was everybody marching from Unitarians to Church of Christ to, the Satanists. So
That's
everyone
awesome.
was there.
That's great. That's great. So, Rainbow Youth Project was involved in the parade as well.
Very much, yes.
Okay.
Lance really brought it together because apparently Oklahoma City had sort of been fractured before. There were three different groups doing three different prides, and
Oh,
he was like, "Come on, we're all gonna come together. We're
oh, that's
gonna.
awesome.
If I don't like your personality, it doesn't matter because we still need to come together for the community." And that's basically what he did.
So he did that.
Lance is very good at doing that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So once
He's
again, if
like,
you're not
check
following,
your ego at the door. We're gonna do this together.
so if you had one thing to say to people who are trying to be helpful allies, what would you say to them?
Show up. I mean, if there is a friend or child in crisis, I mean, that's one of the things I thought was sad is Lance said they had a young child who tried to unalive themselves, and he sent a email out to like 30 different people saying, could somebody please go over to the hospital and sit with the family and show support? No one even responded. If you're really gonna walk the walk, you better walk the walk. And that means, and it doesn't mean that you have to sit in the hospital for 13 hours. Show up for a couple hours, bring some snacks, bring some drinks. And but he has found other groups here that are willing to actually do that and organize with him for a response force. But
I
if
hear
you,
I hear from people who say they're afraid that they'll say or do something wrong. And my response is always, don't be afraid to be a clumsy ally. Don't be afraid. You don't
yeah,
have to be perfect. You are human. And even, oh, and Rosie, I'm not proud of this, but I feel like I have to say it because somebody needs to hear it. I misgendered a trans woman last week. And of course, I poured out my heart in apologies. But I had used the wrong pronoun, and I just felt, and I've known this person for several years, and but I just think, and then I'm like, wait, I can't make this about me. I can't make this about my mistake. They have accepted my apology, and we just need to move on.
well, and to me, I mean, my son is trans, his spouse is non-binary. Bat uses they them pronouns. I mess up all the time. But I think a lot of it is your intent. Are you doing it to be harmful and cruel? No, you messed up. And like yesterday I would be talking about somebody that I had just met and I would be like, I don't know what their pronouns are. And I would just be honest and say, I'm not sure what they use. Because some people use he, she, and they, them. I mean, some people don't care, like me. So intent, I think, matters. And you're allowed to make, as far as I'm concerned, you're allowed to make mistakes. in the LGBTQIA plus community, we make mistakes ourselves. You try your best, you know, but, you know.
Yeah, that's such an important part. I've started to put the pronouns with their phone, with their number. So so if they're in my contact list, I put their pronouns right by their name.
Yeah. And if I don't know, a lot of times I use they, them. And it's
Yeah.
perfectly fine to say, are you in the LGBTQI plus community? Are you an ally? What are your pronouns? I mean, that's not being mean. That's trying to be respectful.
Absolutely.
And if you slip up, you slip up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I'm getting ready to do a video for those who, especially at Pride Month, when it's hard, but because they have to stay in the closet for their own safety, because they'll be kicked out of their home, they're at risk of losing financial, housing security. Somebody out there right now is watching this who has to stay in the closet. What would you say to them?
Try and find your way out. Make your plan, and if it is finding housing, make your plan. You don't have to be loud about it. You start making your plan and work towards being your true authentic self. I mean, that to me is, I guess, one of the most important things you can do. And connect with a community that can help you. Mm-hmm. And that may be a Unitarian church. I mean,
that's a great idea.
But don't let fear overwhelm you, because I guess I just couldn't live that way. And there's big brothers, big sisters. I'm not familiar with how they help, but there's also a lot of groups out there that do help. Mm-hmm. So reach out to the community, reach out to the resources, and that really is on you as your own individual self. This is not going to just drop into your lap.
Yeah.
So, some of it is, it's your own path. Mm-hmm. And you actually are in charge of your path. No matter who's trying to tell you you're not. And if someone's trying to change you, saying, well, I'm your mom or I'm your dad and you need to do this, if they're trying to change you, that's not okay. Mm-mm. If it's conditional love of, I love you as long as you're not gay. There are also groups out there like Stand in Pride. They're on Facebook. They have their own website. There's people. Right, there's people. I mean, there was a lady who came into my live just the other night. She was so excited. She goes, I adopted somebody off of Stand in Pride. I'm like, you did? She goes, I'm going to his graduation. His high school graduation. His parents wouldn't go to. And she said, I got him his robe. I got him a suit. I got him this. I'm going as his mom. And it's like, there's people out there that'll do that. So.
Oh my gosh.
So. He was a high schooler who reached out. I mean, that's scary. That's young. And saying, I need some help. I need a mom.
But even in the struggle, Stand in Pride is an organization that's started by,
Zombie Dan.
Thank you. Say it again.
Zombie Dan.
Zombie Dan. Thank you. I couldn't think of their name, but it's, you can find Zombie Dan here on TikTok. And they have a group on Facebook where he's got it. It's broken out by region. Mm-hmm. So people.
It's actually worldwide.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you can find your region, join that group, and in there people will post their need for you to show up and be an ally. Or if you're needing support, you can go to that group. It's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, start taking control of your own path. And love should not be conditional.
So now I'm going to be nosy. How was my name coming up?
Well, quite honestly, there were a lot of people that either came from families that, I'm not kidding, one of the guys, there was a documentary film crew there, and he was originally Australian, His mother's a Pentecostal pastor. His father's a Pentecostal pastor. His brother's a Pentecostal pastor. His sister's a Pentecostal pastor. He was in school to become a Pentecostal. It's like the amount of ministers or children of ministers. There were a lot. So we talked a lot about the ministry and deconstruction, and you came up frequently. And Lance said, "I love her."
Oh,
I absolutely love Rev Karla. So it was very positive, but you were one of the pillars of deconstruction.
that's amazing. I'll have to reach out to Lance. I haven't been in touch with them for a while, so I'll have to see. I have to see what they're doing. Is Lance in Oklahoma?
Yes.
Okay, that's where they live.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I wasn't sure if they were going to travel around to other Pride events or if that's just.
Oh, he probably is, but he's based out of Oklahoma City now. So, Melody, a lot of, I mean, yes, I mean, there's a lot of straight people that are in there saying, yes, I want to adopt you.
Yes, so that you joined to be support, to lend support however you can, to know what it means to be an ally.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But
Alex.
it is really, I mean, the people who are reaching out for help usually are from the gay community, from the LGBTQI plus community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but no, you don't have to be a gay parent.
Even in the struggle, just join the page for their region. Good job.
Introduce yourself. You'll get a lot of responses. People are really nice. And, you know, this may be your first step to connecting with your own community.
So we'll make sure that each live throughout the Pride Month, we'll mention that Rainbow Youth Project, Lance's account, so you can stay in contact with them. Did Lance say what else they have planned for Pride Month?
I'm not sure. Hang on. I gotta go. I'm getting a call.
Okay. Take care. We love you. Rosie was traveling, so she has to go. Alley Cat, I'll come back to your question. What is that page again? It's called Stand in Pride, and you can find it on Facebook. And the person is Zombie Dan, and they are here on TikTok, so you can go find them as well. Let me see who I missed here. Okay, so you can go find them as well. Okay, so I'm curious how you're deconstructing Christianity. Well, I've been deconstructing it for years. Thank you, Rev Karla Shop, for putting that in there. And thank you for the follows, the likes, and the shares. It certainly helps here. I've been deconstructing it for years. So the way I did, I became unchurched. And then I started reading. And I went to college because I knew that I wanted to, I had a passion for helping people, and I knew I was going to help people deconstruct as well. So for me, it was about deconstructing from a lot of my evangelical fundamentalist beliefs that had weaponized my faith. So believing in my moral and spiritual superiority, and I just could no longer reconcile that as being something that made me a saintly, that I went around judging people based on who they love, what they believed, where they were from, the color of their skin. I couldn't do that anymore. I think there were some people, Kathy says I have to hide my spirituality from Christian friends because they may demonize me for it. Yes, that's very, very common. Very, very common for people have to hide who they are. Someone had a question earlier, and I forgot it. It was something about deconstructing, and I'm sorry I have forgotten it. But maybe let me get my messages up from my mods and see. But not sure. Let me see who we got here. Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
Of course, as soon as you come up, I come up.
My dogs always did that. They were in competition with the phone.
It's like they know. But I've been going through it this morning, and this live has just been right on time.
Oh, what's going on?
I need to come out. I'm not gay. I'm not anything. I'm asexual. And for a lot of reasons, that was easy to hide in the Christian church. Because they had very strict rules about women who were divorced and their sexuality. And if they weren't 60 years old yet, you just had to be put away. So all morning long, I've been just like, how do I do this? How do I come out as not anything? And I'm not sure what to do with it. And then here comes Auntie Rosie, and it was like, oh, she's one of my heroes. So I don't know where to go from here. You can tell me.
So everyone's in the comments right now. All they're doing is sending you hearts, and we're just holding the space.
Thank you.
Just send hearts, send love to Salt's mom. Everybody hold the space. Thank you, Bob Chicago. Bob says you are everything, you are something.
Yeah, I'm sorry I look pretty bad right now.
No, you needed to say what you needed to say, and we're here to hold the space. That's the first. There's nothing else that needs to be done right now.
I mean, I've kind of always known this my entire life, but you know how you're like, I felt like I was pushed into the bear. You need to go to the bear. The bear is where, and so I went to the bear, and I was married twice, and I hated the bear. And so now I'm 63. I'll be 63 this month, and it's like, I wasted so much of my entire life carrying water and trying to fit into their little place, and here I am, and I feel like, please let me be a mom to someone who needs it. Please let me hold that space for someone. I could do that for you. And I don't even feel I can do it for myself. So right now I'm just going to sit here and cry while everybody in the universe watches me.
So wise, so wise. I love that you went from where your heart's leading you, but there's a time for healing. And what I noticed, do you remember when I said last week the importance? Thank you for the gifts, Josh. Resist. I said something about your rage is going to guide you. You felt you had so much guilt about your rage, and yet here you are now with there's this evolving of where our emotions, when we finally can claim them and we can own them and we can identify them, and how they ebb and flow and lead us to our truth. And all these tears, it come from a place of acceptance and honest vulnerability, and not being afraid of that vulnerability. And so today's not about answers, and today's not about direction. Today's about acceptance and being able to bring to light the words that you needed to say. And so even the energy around you feels different than it did last week.
And I really wish I can't read the comments, and I really wish I could. And maybe I'll.
It's okay. They're beautiful. They are so beautiful.
I don't have my glasses on, and I'm crying my eyes out.
No, it's okay. So just send hearts for all of you who are your comments. I see
those of us that can't read without glasses.
No, I can't see a thing right now. I can't see anything. Okay. So I'm right there with you. But for those of you who are sending, just send the hearts. Just send the hearts.
I so appreciate this space to be able to just say,
oh, that's beautiful.
This is where I am. And I was thinking about putting that like as a Pride Month thing on Facebook, and I thought, do you know how many people would just cut me right off at the knees if I did that? Am I willing to do that? And you know what? I think I am. I just have to word it right, Well, I don't need those people in my life.
Well, oftentimes, I
see all the red hearts. Thank you.
Good. You can see. She can see the red hearts. Salt's mom. Oftentimes, and I think this may resonate you. Let's try this on. Okay, let's go down this path just for a minute, and then I'm going to invite you to disconnect. Not yet, but because this is a lot, And we only want to go so far into this, but the fact that you're verbalizing, I think, is really good. Look at all those red
Well,
hearts.
see, I thank you so much, and thank you for accommodating my blindness. Okay, at 63, reading small print is not my skill set.
Oh, for sure. I understand. I understand that. So you're when we were indoctrinated into this type of religious patriarchy, the other thing that it does is not only invalidate our feelings, but we often forget how to, just to process the big emotions. So when you said, "Oh my gosh," now I'm spacing what you just said. Oh, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I'm also getting carried away by the hearts.
You're fine. You're fine.
I really have forgotten what I was going to say to you.
The train derails for me every day.
You said I saw anyway, it'll come back to me. It was something about it was important for our journey because you're only about 6 months older than I am, I believe. I'll be 63 in October.
Okay, yeah, I'll be 63 this month.
Okay, so yeah, we're right there together.
61, right?
Thank you, Kendra, for sharing the live. Hi, Heather. It's good to see you. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
You're
Maybe
fine.
it wasn't as important as what I thought.
And if it comes back to, my sister used to say, hey, if it comes back to you, that's when you can call me at 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I
I'm
already
not
had
fine.
gone
I
through.
just
I got,
the fact that I can come here to this safe space, and I'm no longer weeping, so that's a good thing. And just say out loud, I'm going through it, and this is what I've been going through this morning, and it's been really difficult, and I don't know how to deal with it.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, Rev Karla invites you to her live, and it's Auntie Rosie, and I'm like, oh my God. So yeah,
It's exactly
it was what I
what.
needed. It was exactly this was exactly what I needed.
Yeah, good, good.
And I'm gonna hop off. So anybody
Okay.
else that wants to come up, and if you think about what you wanted to say, hey,
If it comes back, it'll come back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's what happens when I'm looking at the comments at the same time. Thank you all for holding the space with Salt's mom. I think
yeah.
that
And
was
my given name is Mary, in case anybody cares.
well, I'm not going to be the one to say it.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
All
We'll
right,
see.
bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Rev Karla.
Bye. Oh, thank you for that beautiful origami. Hi, just what I heard. How are you?
Hi, my name is Renee, actually. So,
Hi, Renee.
I think maybe they were talking about asexuality. Does that help jog the
I
memory?
appreciate that because it does feel like something I really wanted to say, but it's not it.
Oh, okay.
It's not it. So I don't know. She said something that triggered a response about our indoctrination, and it
Mhm.
has something to do with. It wasn't about the crone because that would have been too overwhelming for her. But it was something in the middle there that I could just give her a little tidbit to go with her, and take it with her and sit with it because I like to do that in spiritual care. But I really did just like it just left, and so maybe it would be too much for her.
Well, it got me wondering about a question, if that's
Okay.
okay. So when we think about things in terms of the patriarchy, one of the things that has really kind of been sticking with me since leaving religion in general has been the gender roles that I have been sort of I've been indoctrinated with, right? And these gender roles were passed on to my kids in many ways. But I was also, at some point, kind of also trying to listen to the fact that my own kid was trying to tell me I don't fit into either of these gender roles. In fact, I feel a little bit of both. And I was missing a lot of those cues even as they were growing up. And when they were able to put language to it and say, hey, yeah, I'm non-binary. That for me made me feel a little bit like I don't know how to proceed with it. I don't not in the sense that like I didn't accept them or love them and support them in their discovery, but of that word, but I think I also didn't know at what point am I pushing things, or what things I still need to dismantle. And I've been dealing kind of in this space of trying to figure out if gender roles are even useful for myself or for others. And I was just kind of wondering your thoughts on, like, if there is any usefulness, if there's anything, if we Marie Kondo it and look at it and say, like, does any of this give me any joy?
Oh, I love that. Marie Kondo. Marie Kondo, gender roles. Is this bringing me joy? The fact that people come in here at my live every time and tell me that as a woman I can't be a minister, does this bring me joy? Get rid of that.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I
Yeah.
like it. So, just what I heard, what did you say? Is your name Rebecca?
Oh, no, Renee.
Renee, sorry. I should know that. That's my middle name is Renee.
Oh, okay.
So, Renee, do you feel like you have been actively deconstructing?
I do, especially in terms of just the racism that I have experienced, and also, in terms of, like, I'm ex-Mormon, so there was a lot of racism in the church, and so that's actually what started me on the journey of leaving the church.
Okay.
Was the
Are you
racism within
are you a woman of color?
that. I am, and at the same time, my race is white, but being a Mexican American, that there are some things about that I am trying to explore with other Mexican Americans, and in trying to find my cultural identity, and define that as well. So yeah, I mean, I experienced discrimination due to colorism. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the clarity. So, how old is your child now?
19.
So, do you and you have a healthy relationship? I mean, I know we all have issues we deal with our kids, but
Yes, yeah, we do.
okay. And they are still are they still exploring their identity about who they are around their gender or sexuality?
They are. Yeah, and there is, for them, I think it's a little bit more like they're not exploring whether or not they are non-binary, but I think that they are exploring whether they feel more comfortable in, I guess, like a mask or a femme presenting. Like, they're sort of exploring whether or not they're exploring a lot of things about, like, how they present to the world. And so it's been, I think, a journey for them in trying to figure out where they feel more comfortable. There is some some things with that, I guess.
Okay. And you are unchurched now. You are ex-Mormon?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So a lot of what it sounds to me like is that you're actively deconstructing, and in the process of these beliefs, these long held beliefs, and these indoctrinations that we've experienced, and these false narratives that have been placed on us, they're rising up for you, and especially around your lived experiences. Because once you become aware, part of deconstructing is becoming self-aware, because we turn off, or we're taught to disconnect from those things in order for us to remain obedient and compliant to this religious patriarchy. So we learn how to detach or disconnect our responsibility from the pain we may be causing in our lived experience. So for an example, someone who's highly indoctrinated in their religion, and they have a child who comes out, who attempts to come out to them. If they're highly indoctrinated, they will use their experiences or their training, their indoctrination from that religion to really weaponize their faith. Even like Rosie was saying, I will basically disown you if you tell me you're gay, because it goes against my beliefs, whatever. So they can just detach. the bond, the parent-child bond becomes secondary to the religious beliefs. But what I'm hearing is that because the Mormon is very much a high control, highly indoctrinated, fundamentalist type of religion.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I won't call it a cult, but they use cult.
It's okay too, because I think it feels like a, yeah.
Well, exactly, because it's using cult-like tendencies and tactics in order to keep people compliant. So with your child, there was self-awareness. Then all of a sudden that leads to a deconstructing opportunity, because you're like, well, wait a minute. What are these gender roles? What have I been told about myself? And how has that created limited beliefs about who I am or in how I see the world?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I just remembered what I was going to say to Salt's mom.
Oh, she might be in the comments.
Are you there? I'm going to save it, but I'm serious. I'm not going to say anything to her right now.
Okay. I was going to say, you can diverge or write it down.
No. That is so weird. All of a sudden it came up, but no, it's too much right now. It's too far away from the situation. And I don't know why all of a sudden it came back in. Hi, Ashley. I didn't see you come in, but I see you're here. Salt's mom, we're going to save it. We're going to save it because I honestly believe it was too much. That's why it went away. So, but it just came up to me again. Now, back to Renee, because I think this could have application for you in some way, because it's kind of been your journey, Salt's mom, as well. Yes, they are, Jan Van. They're hilarious. I don't want to say that it's age at all. So you're looking at this belief and say, this no longer serves my highest good. I can literally see how this has suffocated me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to just say that because I am defined by this, you come from a religion that says, and more than likely than your family beliefs. So that's how religion patriarchy mirrors our familial patriarchy, that most likely was also your educational patriarchy, that said, just be happy that there are just two genders. We're going to make this really easy. And here's what here's what male are supposed to be, and this is what female is supposed to be. When we know that the spectrum of that is much more broader and diverse and fluid than what we were led to believe. Biology confirms that. So it doesn't mean that you can't explore, but it also means that you don't have to entirely reject who you are. Mm-hmm. If you're comfortable with some of who you are because it feels like it's who you are, then those things we get to keep on. It's not the patriarchy that demands that. It's us. It's us saying, all right, I want to just take a step back here to see, how is this limiting how I show up in the world? How can I be a better person? How can I find a more enriching life? How can I be more authentic in who I am by rejecting some of this ideology that was forced on me? Because it more than likely taught you not only to be obedient, it taught you to be compliant.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's the compliant part that is some of the hardest to release. In my book, I tell a story about, I don't remember where it was in my deconstructing journey, but I know I had gone through college. I think I was in seminary. And I tell this story about going to this coffee shop, which was one of my favorite places to write. It was before COVID. And I was sitting there and I caught, you know how sometimes you just know somebody's looking at you?
Yeah.
I'm shortcutting this story, but thank you for the follow, Charlie. So I get this, feel like somebody's watching me, and I raise my eyes up and there's this man staring at me and he's got this look on his face. And I think, well, what did I do? Did I park? What did I do? Am I in his seat? Immediately, I think I did something wrong. That's indoctrination. A man is staring at me. He's upset with me. What did I do wrong? That's a response that is intended to happen. So somehow I am accountable to this stranger. And he looks at me and he goes, "Why don't you smile?" Now wait, I'm not done, Renee. I stinking smiled.
Oh no, I know. Me too. I've done that. Oh my goodness, I
He
know.
turned and left with this look on his face like, yeah, I still have it. I can make any woman do what I need to. And I felt so violated. I started shaking.
I know
Like, I
exactly that.
cannot believe I did that. I got out in my car and I'm just rage crying. I was so mad that after all this work I had done, that indoctrination was still in me, that I was at a time where my guard was down. I immediately went back into a conditioned response from patriarchal indoctrination that said, he's mad at me, he's in power over me, and I need to do what he told me to do.
Yeah.
That's the power of patriarchy. And that's where we start to say, how are we going to respond? And sometimes those triggers will still arrive as a gift to us to say, okay, I'm ready for another deeper release of those things. So you have the opportunity to not only be the support for your child, but the opportunity exists for you to deconstruct and heal yourself so that you can be more present for whatever their journey is, and you be their safe person. And maybe
Oh,
that looks like you having those conversations that say, look, I messed up. I missed cues, and I'm going to own it that I'm an adult, but I do see how my indoctrination caused some of this, but I'm going to work, and I may be a clumsy ally, but I'm going to be here for you. So you will always know that I'm a safe space. Whatever you're going through, you can talk to me. I will be your advocate. I will be the loudest voice in the room to support you. And if you can continue with that conversation, because I think what's happening is you're showing up for your child. It's you are being offered a mirror of the things that you can let go of that no longer serve your highest good, so that you can be the parent that you most likely didn't have because of some of those indoctrinations.
yeah.
And and so it's just gonna lead to you being a better version of yourself.
No,
And how lucky for you and your child.
I feel like something you just said really clicked for me, and that's where I'm coming from, is this idea that it's a mirror for me. It's allowing me to look at it and go, this is exactly the stuff that I was told and that kept me compliant, as you said, and also silent. And also just that feeling of losing out or missing out on something, major FOMO on being able to explore other aspects of who I am and what I really want to gain from life, and that the career aspect of things, the idea of being able to, I guess, even just go into a room and not have to qualify myself before I speak, before I offer any sort of this appeal to authority that is expected. I I feel like I'm not allowed to talk sometimes because I don't have that. I don't have this degree behind me, or I don't have a title, or whatever it is. So yeah, there's these like aspects of these roles that I feel like that you're allowed to do, and there's this demand avoidance that I I think I'm
Yeah.
starting to experience now as a result of that. And so it's really clicking for me that you're calling it a mirror, because I feel as though when I see, but what I don't want to do is commandeer my kids' journey, or take in my too much of myself, because I think I would pollute what they do, because I saw so much.
Dob Hughes says we all have our moments of kicking ourselves backwards. And Ashley said, thank you for choosing your baby over religion. So many don't. Ashley,
Oh,
I love you.
well, I will I'm going to go ahead and drop down.
Okay, I want to say one thing to you, because I think this is also going to resonate with some people, because I saw some of the comments flowing through. Don't make yourself small. And I think that's we were taught that, oh, I'm not smart enough. Don't have the experience. I don't have the credentials. You have the passion
Mm-hmm.
and you have a voice. And the only people who are saying that is the people who fear your power. And so they learned to teach us these indoctrinations to keep us compliant and silent. And so now you're not going to make yourself small anymore. Hi, Heather.
Okay, yeah, that's actually, I'm gonna use that today. There are things
Good.
today that I need to do that I
Okay.
need to remember
Very good.
to, wave my arms maybe.
Okay.
If it's
Well,
a mountain lion of patriarchy, I'm gonna wave my arms really
good.
big and high.
Check back in sometime.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I just saw another question come in, and this is going to be our last one. Oh, Salt's mom. Yes, exactly. She was amazing. Ashley, don't be smaller. The world can and will adjust. Thank you, Jay. I saw somebody say, "Good morning from New Mexico." Hi, Ryan. Yes, women are taught that. Lady Overcoming says, "How do you deconstruct?" So we're gonna close out this live today with that. How do you deconstruct? Well, the first thing that I would say, there's no right or wrong way. There's many ways that people are deconstructing. And I always start that by saying that deconstructing is not about what you believe. It's who you become. And so for many of us, deconstructing actually becomes our spiritual truth, our spiritual identity, our spiritual path, because you never stop questioning. Once you own the fact that you have the right to question and to dive a little deeper and to keep looking for your connections in your community, then you understand that that's really closer to an authentic spirituality than a rigid dogma that said, believe this, worship like this, and we'll give you the stamp of approval that says your salvation is clear. And really, for many of us, we awoke to a place that said that doesn't make any sense. I don't understand a spirituality that says I have to present myself as morally and spiritually superior than others. And I'm going to judge people who don't look like, love like, or believe like I do, or worship like I do. I'm not going to do that anymore. It feels wrong. It feels hypocritical. And I'm tired of pretending that I don't see all the hypocrisy that's happening right inside my church. The religious patriarchy becomes too toxic and too oppressive. So all of that together says a lot of that happens right there in the pews. So how do you deconstruct is when you first acknowledge that it's happening. You're sitting in the pews, and that might happen for a long time. You're just like, I can't fake this anymore. I can't fake that I'm okay. I have got to go figure this out. So for many of us, we do leave. We leave church, but some people don't. Some people have a safe place inside their spiritual community where they are free to ask questions, where they are free to explore some of their indoctrinated beliefs. But for many of us, we came from a high control, evangelical, fundamentalist type of Christianity that was all or nothing. Believing that way and worshiping that way and behaving that way and judging others that way was non-negotiable. That's the way you had to show up to be a part of that spiritual community. So in order to question that or challenge that, you had to leave because you were a target. Sermons would be written about you. People would come at you to bring you back under authority. And so then you do what you need to do to find the space. And for many of us, we enter this space of loneliness. That was the other question. I just remembered that the person asked early on. What do you do about the loneliness? So can one of the mods put that on the questions that we need to answer that next time? What do we do about the loneliness? And then you're there by yourself with nothing but you and what no longer serves your highest good. And you read, you do a lot of reading, and you watch videos in these spaces, in these deconstructing spaces, and you see what people have learned and what they've let go of. and how they've explored other spiritualities and paths and truths, and how they understand that none of that was necessary, that spirituality is very much something that starts here first, and then you find your community instead of a community that gatekeeps how you're going to show up. So I would, oh, Ashley, oh my goodness, bless your heart. Cannot do it again. Is it really ascended time? I do. Your religion's going to say it is, dear one. Harrison Butker certainly would say that it is. I mean, everybody's heard the video by now. Let me finish this comment. So deconstructing begins when you start questioning. And then you finally trust the process that it's time for you to dive in. I have a list of book recommendations on my website. We're in the process getting ready to update a lot of that as well. And you can come into Rev Karla's Inner Circle. We're getting ready. A lot of things are happening. Just give us a minute to get things in order. But now I'm going to close this by saying, Ashley, I'm not going to tell a Catholic that it's not a sin, because I'm not a Catholic. I was raised Southern Baptist. But you're seeing a lot of people here showing you that you have the right to put yourself first. You have the right. There is a religious patriarchal benefit for women to continue to have babies. That's how you keep a faith going. When Pope Francis said that women were selfish for having puppies instead of babies, why do you think he said that? Because they all see the data. They all see that no matter whether you're in Catholicism or you're in the evangelical church, people are leaving because the weight of that religious patriarchy is too much. So I hope you find what you need to have the life you deserve, because you deserve peace. And you are so much more than just the capacity to bear children. I'm sure you're a wonderful mother and will continue to be so, but you are so much more. You are so much more. Mods, I forgot to open up the Q Live document. If you want to drop anything that I need to remind people of. Thank you all so very much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful live. We started with a wonderful conversation from Rosie reminding us that it's Pride Month. If you are out loud and proud, we celebrate and we honor you. If you have to be in a closet because your physical safety or your financial security rely on it, we just want you to know that there's enough light getting in there that we see you. And just know that it won't be forever. Just like Rosie said, start a plan. Even if you can't get it in action yet, start thinking about it. Who's in your circle? Who can you trust? Look at Rainbow Youth Project. Look at Stand in Pride. My book is in pre-order. Deconstructing, Leaving Church, Finding Faith. It's around here somewhere. I know. Hang on. Nope. Don't know where it is. I'm such a good salesperson. But pre-orders do help. So please consider doing so. We will be back Wednesday at noon Eastern for the next live. I love these conversations. Thank you all for being such a safe space for people who are coming here to tell you where they are on their deconstructing journey. This is so important for all of us. You all matter. And you just absolutely made my day. I needed this. I hope it's helped you as well. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I will see you Wednesday. Bye, Saltzlam. I haven't forgotten. I wrote it down. Bye. Grab that question from user 2638. Then we'll go. I will answer that user 2638 on Wednesday. I gotta go.